Hi there, this is Toni, and welcome to the Healthier Than Ever podcast. I am here today with a sleep expert and great friend, Meline Nadeau. Meline is a writer, a mom, and a former insomniac. Her website, Sleep, Live, Love, is a great resource for mindful meditation videos and blogs, and she teaches that natural, deep, restorative sleep is the key to a healthier and happier life. She also has a book, Goodnight Toes, which is a sleep meditation for kids. So we'll have links to both of those in the show notes. But in the meantime, welcome, Meline. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Great. And we are fortunate because we're together in person in the little studio back here. And so it's nice to, not just be connecting over the technology, but also just to be able to see each other as we talk.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful space. I'm glad to be
Thank
here.
you. Thank you. Welcome. So, I wanted to start just by asking about your own story with sleep. Can you take us back to early days of insomnia, or did you even know that it was unusual to have difficulty sleeping? Like, give me your backstory as far as sleep, insomnia.
Right. I started having issues with sleep when I was about 11 or 12 years old,
Mhm.
and would spend hours just staring at the ceiling or tossing and turning and lying there until everybody fell asleep, and then just kind of tiptoeing around the house.
Mm.
I would read till all hours of the night because I couldn't sleep, and I was really quite stressed out about it. But
Mhm.
interestingly, at the time, other than just saying I can't sleep and, my mom saying, just close your eyes and go to sleep,
Right.
that was the extent of what anybody was doing for me.
Right.
It was just something I was supposed to grow out of or get used to and
Mhm.
suck it up.
Did you know that it was unusual? Did you think that everybody else had the same problem, or did you know that it wasn't, that was a little different?
I certainly knew it wasn't. I didn't think it was
Okay,
normal
so
because if
you
I went
felt
to a
something
sleepover
was
and everybody else was asleep and I wasn't, or, I
uh-huh,
mean, when
uh-huh.
the whole house is sound asleep, even the dog is snoring and
Right.
I'm awake, I'm thinking there's
Mhm.
something wrong here.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you remember any specific moment where you thought this is not
Well, I know, I do remember, I think, stealing some of my father's sleeping pills.
Oh, well, that's a significant moment.
Needless to say, they found out, and that changed a lot of things. And then all of a sudden, they
Wow.
were freaking out and thinking that I didn't know what I was doing, and why would you take these, and were you trying to, what on earth were you thinking? And so then I saw a
Wow.
therapist who
Mhm.
treated me for anxiety, but not for sleeplessness.
Right. Right. So there was something sort of off in the
Hmm.
way that the whole thing was understood by whatever medical help they sought out, and even your family, they didn't they didn't kind of understand.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
So tell me about your daughter now and her sleep story.
Well, so my just to end on my sleep story,
Yes.
basically, I mean,
Yeah.
it was I had acute insomnia, bouts of it on and off for
Yeah.
most of my adult life, and
Uh-huh.
again, just figured that it's something that I just kind of had to live with,
Right. Right.
because I have a very addictive nature, and I
Mhm.
knew,
Mhm.
or I was concerned that if I did take sleeping pills, I would get addicted, and then
Yeah.
my sleep would get worse.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Or
but
you'd
then
be
when
totally
I
dependent on needing that all the time.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and anyone who's taken any kind of sleeping pill
Mhm.
knows that you feel really groggy, and
Yeah.
the next day you don't feel rested. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a different kind of rest. You
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
foggy, and so it's not ideal.
Mhm.
But again, I kind of just took it as just something that I was going to have to live with.
Yeah.
And really, once my daughter started suffering from insomnia, then I really took it seriously.
You took your it changed the way you saw your own.
Exactly. And that
Uh-huh.
coincided with the global pandemic. And
Uh-huh.
so the increased anxiety made it that I wasn't sleeping. She wasn't sleeping. We
Right.
could hear
Right.
helicopters in the sky. So
Mm-hmm.
there were, in addition to sort of maybe a physical predisposition,
Yeah.
the everything that was going on in the world was
Yeah.
incredibly stressful and scary.
Yeah.
And I've got this little girl.
How old was she?
She was 8.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, she'd say things like, I can't sleep. It's so loud in my head.
Mm.
Or she'd say, she had a name for it. She called
Mm-hmm.
it Pressius or something. And I said, what's that? And she said, when there's so much pressure that it keeps you awake at night and you
Mm-hmm.
can't stop the thoughts from coming. So it was a combination of like
Mm-hmm.
pressure, and I guess she decided that most diseases end in us. So she called it Pressius. But anyway, she,
Sweet.
obviously
Yeah.
had a lot of anxiety,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was affecting her sleep.
Yeah. So you're in this moment and you're thinking, I want to do better by her than your past as a child, also suffering with insomnia. And you were still dealing with these things yourself. So what did you do next? Like how did you search for a better answer?
Well, so at this point, I had been researching insomnia and
Mm-hmm.
reading about it and about
Mm-hmm.
the causes,
Yeah.
and how, if you've once you eliminate all physical causes, because it could be medication, it could
Mm-hmm.
be a physical condition. I mean, people get insomnia for all kinds of reasons,
Yeah.
but a lot of insomnia is due to stress and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so that led me to meditation
Mm-hmm.
and trying to do meditation with her, and
Mm.
just doing some very gentle guided meditations with her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
there was one that I made up specifically for her, a body scan
Mm-hmm.
that seemed to work. I mean,
Mm.
it was quite the process, because every night I would sit there and we would go through the whole process, and of relaxing every single body part,
Right.
identifying it,
Mm-hmm.
releasing it,
Mm-hmm.
thanking it for what the work it did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that's my dog. You can hear.
That's
Just for anyone listening, I have
yeah.
a little dog and she's barking. Sorry.
It's all right.
And so because this seemed to work,
Yeah.
I decided to hone it and write it down and make it as good as I could. And then
Yeah.
eventually I published it so that other people could use it too.
Sweet. So, in your own meditation practice, was it like at night before bed, or were you meditating during the day? Or tell me more about your exploration with meditation.
So my own meditation practice,
Mm-hmm.
I sought out training,
Yeah.
and I did training with Sean Fargo,
Mm.
who is the founder of Mindful Exercises. And so I did meditation during the day and mornings, and I did
Mm-hmm.
several hours of different kinds of meditation. And
Wow.
I
Uh-huh.
experimented with everything from body scans to visualizations
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
walking meditation.
Mm.
Um, and then after doing hundreds of hours and also reading about meditation and its benefits,
Yeah.
then I was certified. And
Okay,
yeah.
great. Great, great. Sleep is one of the areas where I see people struggle the most, especially when there's stress, illness, or just a lot going on. And often the goal isn't to force sleep, but to help the body settle into it. I've put together a restorative sleep plan with a few of the supplements I recommend most often. Things like magnesium, gentle sleep support, and calming nutrients. I've organized it for you online on FullScript, which is my trusted source for high quality supplements and products. You don't need to take everything. You can start with one or two and build from there. If you'd like to explore it, you can go to htever.com/sleep. As part of this community, you'll receive 20% off anything you choose to order. That's htever.com/sleep, and we'll have that link in the show notes. And as always, check with your medical team before starting anything new. Does your daughter meditate?
She's a teenager
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and meditation is not cool. Or,
Yeah.
if she still does it, then I'm unaware.
Right.
She does
Right.
not want to meditate with me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I loved when I looked at, I know you have a couple of websites. One of them is Can't Sleep at Night. And night, just for our listener and viewer, it's NITE, Can't Sleep at Night. Um, is you talk about sleeping with your dog and beneficial for someone with insomnia. Tell me about sleeping with the dog.
So, during the pandemic, as we
Yeah.
were all struggling with sleep because of everything that was going on in the world, we got a little puppy.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the first night, uh, my husband said the dog is going to sleep out here, and no dogs in the bedroom. And he was laying down the law. We're in charge, dogs, this and that. So I slept with the dog because I
Oh,
was worried that she would be scared.
yeah. Yeah.
Needless to say, I wasn't about to do that again. And, sleep on the couch every night with the dog.
Right. Right.
And so, very quickly, the dog started sleeping in our daughter's room.
Uh-huh.
And we noticed that once the dog was there,
Oh.
she was no longer anxious.
Yeah.
She's an only child,
Yeah.
but she wasn't alone anymore. And
Oh.
having this
Interesting.
little fur ball curl up
Yeah.
to her with, and it's a combination of having that calming presence
Yeah.
and, someone who's there to protect you, and
Mm-hmm.
also feels protected by you.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. We were
Mm-hmm.
able to peel back on me staying with her and trying to lure her, or tell her stories until she fell asleep, or
Oh,
meditate her to
yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
And then she just was able to do that with the dog. So I looked
Mhm.
into it,
Yeah.
and dogs can, in fact, really help with sleeplessness.
Wow.
I mean, assuming, of course, you don't have one of those dogs that snores, or
Right, 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 right.
a
If you
ginormous
yes.
Australian shepherd that's going to lie across the bed, and
Yeah,
but
right. Push you out of your space, and then that'd be a little much,
exactly. But
but
even just
yeah.
having the dog in the room.
Mm.
So again, if you're not allergic, and you
Yeah.
have a dog, you could put the dog bed at the foot of your own bed or in the
Yeah.
bedroom. There's something about their presence and
Mm.
their own rhythmic breathing
Yes.
and calm that
Mhm.
can help you sleep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
So
Um, what recommendations do you have for people if they do wake up at 3 a.m. and the monkey mind is going all over the place and they're feeling really
mhm.
anxious and worried, or they're planning their next day or whatever happens in that moment of sleeplessness in the middle of the night? Are there tips that you give people?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, if most likely you'll probably end up having to get up because you're
Mhm.
awake, and then
Yeah.
you're black. There's all these things.
Yeah.
Obviously, trying to keep lights to an absolute minimum.
Mhm.
So, a little night light
Yeah.
in the bathroom so that you don't have to turn on any overheads. I
Yeah,
also
that's a good
recommend
idea.
keeping a notepad next to
Mhm.
the bed.
Mhm.
Just so that if it was a dream, or that you're really anxious about forgetting something, or there's
Mhm.
something on your mind, you can just jot it down.
Uh-huh.
And no one's going to look at these notes but you. So you
Right.
again, don't need to turn the light on.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's just
Mhm.
so that you can remember,
Mhm.
and also unburden yourself.
Yeah.
So that also works. In some cases, I would say, if you have AirPods or some kind of, sleep headphones, you
Mhm.
can listen to a sleep story
Mhm.
or
I
some
do that
light.
sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah. Or a guided meditation that is one of the body scans. I, have a favorite, like, body scan meditation that's the 3:30 AM if I'm waking up and feeling really anxious. It just, like, lulls me back, and I find that listening to the same one,
hmm
the familiarity of the voice and almost sort of memorizing the dialogue, that's helpful for me.
hmm
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's comforting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
comforting to know where it's going, to know what's happening.
Yeah.
And and then for some people, so my husband has been having a lot of sleep issues,
Mhm.
and those things don't work for him.
Uh,
He needs to be a little more engaged. So he
mhm.
finds that he would rather listen to, and not necessarily a sleep story, because often sleep stories are made to kind of ramble to so that you eventually drop off.
Yeah.
But he finds that frustrating.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
for him, it has to go somewhere. So he tends to listen to history podcasts.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
but again, just finding a voice that he finds calming,
Yeah.
and a tone that's relatively monotonous, or
Mhm.
and that
Mhm.
helps him stop thinking about whatever it is he's
Mhm.
concerned about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you mentioned dreams just now. Do you have thoughts about vivid dreams, nightmares? I don't usually get vivid dreams or nightmares, but after the cancer diagnosis, my whole sleep world changed. The first time it changed was when I went through menopause, but then, I think it was all right. But after the whole cancer thing, it's like the psyche is suddenly there's so much fear,
Mm.
anxiety, the unknown, mortality, everything that's coming at me in the middle of the night. And what do you think about how to handle or manage sort of the vivid dreams or bad dreams?
Right. Well, again, I find that usually when I have a bad dream, it's
Mhm.
because I'm worried about something.
Yeah.
And if I take down, you wake up and you feel horrible,
Mhm.
and even just writing down a few words
Mhm.
so that you can say, okay, I will think about this in the morning.
Mhm.
Because when you sleep, your mind is processing all of the things you've had to go through, the stresses of the day, the
Mhm.
things you're concerned about, your to-do list, your family health concerns. And so I find that just the act of saying, okay, that
Mhm.
really didn't feel good, but I'm going to put this aside and I'll
Yeah.
look at it in the morning.
Mhm.
And then something that absolutely made no sense. Like, why would I be wearing my neighbor's clothing and trying to do a presentation on a topic I don't know, for instance?
Right.
And
In
then you
your dream.
realize, because at the time it just feels wrong. And then
Mhm.
you realize the next day that you're just worried about being in the wrong place at the wrong time,
Yeah.
or whatever it is that's going on.
Mhm.
It's easier then to go, once the sun is out and it's daytime, to
Right.
go, oh, okay, this is me processing.
Right.
And I find that just knowing that when it happens
Mhm.
lessens its hold.
Mhm.
Um, Now, obviously, if it's a really bad nightmare, I will occasionally wake up my husband.
Oh, that's yeah.
Can't sleep.
Oh, you get a little snuggle
Yeah,
from
get it exactly.
that's
Get a cuddle,
nice. Yeah.
or look for the dog who tends to bed hop. She'll go from daughter's bed to our bed, so I'll look around and hold
Yeah.
her, and
Yeah.
it's very comforting to have
Yeah.
that person or this little critter to hold on to.
It's funny, I don't have nightmares a lot, but last night I actually had one, and I don't know if it's because we were going to talk about sleep, so my psyche was trying to teach me some lesson in talking about sleep, but the other thing that I was curious about, there was a bad guy in my nightmare, and there was a scene that looks sort of haunted.
Mm.
And right now, as we're recording this, it is Halloween time, and there's a lot of decorations out there. And I'm like, are those actually affecting me? Because I'm 55 and I've never been scared of Halloween. But I wondered, like, is there something in my psyche that's being affected by Halloween decorations? I actually don't think so. I think that it's a good symbolism thing of what's like actually down deep in the psyche that's
Mhm.
going on. But I did think that that was a little curious about. I mean, I do think it's probably a bad idea to watch like scary things, and my
Mm.
daughter is rewatching Stranger Things, which it's a little,
Mhm.
so that's probably not healthy right before bed, wouldn't you say?
Well, there's something interesting about horror movies and
Yeah,
all of that stuff.
yeah,
In a way, it allows us to have those big emotions
yeah.
when we're awake,
Mm-hmm.
and to process them and say to ourselves, it's not real, or,
Right.
you know, good always wins over evil, or
Yeah.
whatever, because most of these things generally have a fairly positive outcome. You know,
Right.
the good guys win, the bad guys don't.
Yeah.
And so it's a safe way to have those scary feelings and process them.
Yeah.
And now, as far as you having those dreams, I think that, yeah, maybe on some level, you've seen so many crazy decorations
Right.
that it's just a part of the day that your mind is processing.
Right. It's like the creative outlet of how my mind is uh, getting information and displaying it.
You're right, laying
Yeah.
over these crazy
The
visuals
imagery.
over
Yes.
these thoughts that you're having. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't recommend watching horror movies before bed for
Right.
obvious reasons,
Yes.
but I understand the allure and the appeal.
Right. And I think I've read actually that horror movies can be good not for sleep but for people with general anxiety because it is so fake and it is playing out this thing that is so not real that it does help separate reality from like things that are just not real. So I
Right.
don't know if there's anything to that, but it's
Mm.
kind of interesting. Yeah.
All right. Well, you've given me an idea for my next article or blog.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good, good,
Mhm.
good. um I don't know if the I know some people might be watching this on video and others might be just listening, but Maline's dog is here and is a beautiful and loving sleep companion, and right now very calming energy in the room.
Yes. Oh,
Bless you,
and now
Quinn.
she's the one who just sneezed, and she
Yes.
was the one barking outside, which is why I let her in. She's a bit needy.
Yeah. Um, we had sort of an interesting, just organic discussion the other day around this issue of almost kind of shame with sleep. And I think when I was younger, I was a really great sleeper, and I was like the person that could fall asleep on a plane next to the stranger, and if the stranger was lucky, I wasn't like, trying to sleep on the stranger's shoulder. But so I would get teased in my family, but for me I thought that that was all normal within this realm of normal. But I was older before I developed sleep problems. In other
Mhm.
words, as a young person and in college, I was just like a very good sleeper. When my daughter was born, she was a good sleeper, and I had a lot of shame around that. Or it wasn't shame, it was just this, you want to keep it a secret because I didn't want other people to hate me. Like other moms that were not sleeping well, they would hate me if they knew that my daughter was sleeping well. So it was like this secret. And it's so weird to me that sleep is something that's almost shrouded in secrecy sometimes. And insomnia too. It's like we feel shame around not sleeping well sometimes. I think for me also, I'm in this profession of the healing arts, and as a healer, we're supposed to have things together that we're sleeping well. So when I'm not sleeping well, what does that say about me? It's a very loaded thing. Do you have any thoughts about shame and sleep and
Absolutely. I used to think that being an insomniac was my superpower somehow. You know, I'm a former
right?
journalist,
Yeah.
and that culture is changing a lot. But at the time, it was all about, you know, how hard you could work and how
Yeah.
many hours you could put in, and, you
Mhm.
know, almost sort of there was some strange pride in burning the candle at both ends. You know,
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
I'm indestructible and I can get by on 5 hours of sleep, and the reality is nobody can. You know,
Uh-huh.
not for long and not
Yeah.
indefinitely, and that has to change, and that is changing too. So we do have all these weird constructs around sleep. And just as
Yes.
an aside, my daughter did not sleep as a baby. And
Uh-huh.
and of course I knew moms whose children did, and for
Mhm.
hours every
Mhm.
day. And
Mhm.
I have to say I was a bit jealous,
Uh-huh.
because if I could get my daughter to sleep for 20 minutes, that was brilliant. And I
Right.
mean, 20 minutes, you can't
You can't.
accomplish anything. You barely
Right.
take a shower in 20
Right.
minutes, you
Right.
know. Um, and so, of course, having a daughter that didn't sleep, I knew that where that came from.
Right.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It would have been great if she did, but I wasn't surprised because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Um,
Mhm.
but there definitely, I think we're realizing now how important sleep is,
Mm-hmm.
and how, we should celebrate sleep and
Yeah.
give ourselves permission to sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
also permission to ask for help when you're not sleeping.
Right.
You're not,
Right.
it's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. I mean, it's the
Right.
world we live in.
Yes.
We're constantly being assaulted by bad news, and
Mm-hmm.
new news stories every 15 seconds. I mean, especially, with TikTok and
Yeah.
Snapchat and everything that we see.
Mm-hmm. Even like a news alert on the phone. Something happens and the alert flashes on your phone. You know about it so quickly.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, we grew up in the era where we would watch the nightly news, or, my parents were big
Hmm.
news junkies. So, between 6 and 7, the news is on. And that was kind of it, other than the 3 newspapers we'd have delivered every day. But now it's news. And they're wanting so badly to get our attention. So, the headlines are disrupting to, the calm spirit that maybe we would like to have around us. It's like it's just like we're kind of bombarded by devices and news and things. I think a news fast is always a good idea.
Hmm.
And I say that I'm on one frequently, but then I peek at headlines all the time. So I'm not a very good example of a success story in doing the news fast, but
Well, like you said, it's almost impossible to avoid when
yeah.
your phone, when you get alerts when there's a missing child, or
Yeah.
someone is lost, or there's an earthquake, or,
Yeah. Yeah, I got a loud weather one this week. Yeah,
right, because of
just
the
with the
flooding or potential flooding.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So anyway, it was
I know. Well,
modern life.
again, just taking a deep breath, doing a little body scan,
Yeah.
being with it and allowing those feelings to come and go. It's okay to
Yeah.
be stressed out or feel a little overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Um, and also, when you wake up at 4 a.m., to know that that's probably all it is,
Yeah.
and that there are ways that you can lull yourself back to sleep.
Right. Right. What's a healthy bedtime routine like before going to bed? What I think
I mean, ideally, and I'm sure, we all know this, very
mhm.
few of us do it, but turning
Mhm.
off devices at
Mhm.
least a half hour before bed,
Mhm.
ideally an hour.
Mhm.
Same thing with blue light. Some people are more affected by it than others, but a
Mm.
lot of people, that's how they decompress. They'll watch TV till 11 or midnight or
Yeah.
1, and then go to bed.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of light stimulation to go from
Mhm.
0 to, or 60 to 0, or to just turn everything off.
Yeah.
Um, so also having a bit of a bedtime ritual,
Mhm.
telling your body, one, turning off the devices, two, having a
Mhm.
nice cup of chamomile tea,
Mhm.
or having a warm bath, and sort of
Yeah.
signaling to your body that it's time to decompress.
Mhm.
Um, and all of that, again, the chamomile, or putting a little lavender spray on your
Mhm.
pillow, because that
Mhm.
also helps with the smells, can affect how you feel, and
Yeah.
just trying to wind everything down. And then if you are really worried about something, write it down.
Right.
I'm a,
Right.
I'm a list maker, and I think, oh no, I got to remember to do this, and oh, I got to do that, and oh my god, I forgot to call so and so. So again, having that pad of paper, so I can quickly jot it down. I know it's
Mhm.
very old school, but if you pull
Mhm.
out your phone, you're just going to destroy everything you've just done. So that's why you just write on a piece of paper,
I like that.
and then you won't forget.
One of the things I see again and again is how many people are living in a state of low level overwhelm, wired, overstimulated, or mentally exhausted. And often the goal isn't to shut that down, but to help the nervous system feel more steady and supported. I've put together a calm and clarity plan with a few of the supports I use most often. Things like magnesium, L-theanine, and gentle adaptogens. You don't need to take everything. You can start with one or two and build from there. If you'd like to explore it, you can go to htever.com/calm. That's htever.com/calm. And as part of this community, you'll receive 20% off anything you choose to order. And as always, check with your medical team before starting anything new. We will have that link in the show notes.
If any of our listeners right now are sort of in the thick of feeling scared, this podcast really is for cancer patients, their caregivers, and if they're really kind of enveloped in fear, which is what happens sometimes, do you have any thoughts, advice, anything that you think that if you could, if you were sitting in front of somebody one on one and they were your client, like what could you say that might provide some comfort that this is temporary?
Right. I think that I would say just really try to, with the help of meditation, I think if you just try to come back and be in the moment
Mm-hmm.
right now,
Yes.
none of these things are going to go away necessarily,
Right.
but you also don't have to solve everything
Right.
right this minute. And,
Definitely.
and worrying about things just most of the time just makes us feel worse.
Yeah.
So even someone who's, having a major health crisis,
Mm-hmm.
there's a real benefit to just trying to slow everything down,
Mm-hmm.
listening to your breathing, and just trying to be in the moment,
Yeah.
in this moment right now, where you're here,
Mm-hmm.
you're breathing, you're okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the strength to get through this. You have it. You have what it takes. You can do it. Your divine, your divine spirit, or your inner self, or your conscience, whatever you it is, you're a lot stronger than you think,
Yeah.
and you just have to give yourself a little bit of grace
Mm-hmm.
and not feel like you have to have all the answers.
Yeah.
Because often when we're worried about something, or concerned, or scared, or sad, there's a bit of that sort of feeling of loss of power, and you want to
Mm-hmm.
fix it, you want it to end, you just don't want to be there. And thing is, you can just go, okay, I'm just gonna just let it all fall for now,
Yeah.
and just focus on this very moment,
Mm-hmm.
on breathing, on trying to relax the body and help the body and the mind, the mind find peace,
Yeah.
and the body find, fight this illness, or fight this anxiety, or
Mm-hmm.
just, sort of let it release. And in meditation, a lot of times I'll say, just release,
Yeah.
whatever that is, that knot you have in your throat, just
Mm-hmm.
try, just release, the
Mm-hmm.
knot in your stomach. Okay, what's it doing? All right, just try to say, okay, I hear
Mm-hmm.
you, I acknowledge you,
Mm-hmm.
and now just release.
Yeah.
And just, and it's not easy, but if you do that in the moment, and anytime it just starts to feel like it's too much,
Yeah.
it's amazing how much better you'll feel.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than fighting it, even when I'm sure you've had in your, when you're in extreme pain,
Yeah.
the more you fight the pain, the more it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest thing to do, in a way, is to just let the pain wash over you.
Yeah.
But when you do,
Mm-hmm.
it actually hurts less,
Mm-hmm.
weirdly.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of it. And just not just on a physical level, but also on an emotional level.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and that's why when I say just write it down, because that's a way of releasing that's physical. I mean, that people can, it's tangible.
Yeah.
If you want to imagine these things exiting the body, that's wonderful too. You can see
Mm-hmm.
it as,
Mm-hmm.
if it's something that's bothering you, you can see it as something that's a gray or a color you don't like, that's leaving and being replaced with light. But it's
Yeah.
just all about,
Yeah.
letting it go.
I think with meditation, we call it a meditation practice because it is about practice. It's
Mm-hmm.
you I think being in the moment is so important because you can't solve everything all at once and take on everything. And the more that you meditate, for me, I developed this kind of narrative that because of like all the anxiety with the diagnosis and treatment and all the unknown, that I needed to do guided meditation because I was just too frazzled and frenetic to let my mind just have perfect like quiet. And recently I've signed up for a meditation class where that's what they're having us do is just sit for 30 minutes with no guided, no specific focus on the breath. It's like really allow the thoughts in, but sit up straight, set your timer for 30 minutes, but don't resist what comes in, but let it go and just let it wash over you. And it's interesting because a few months ago, I would have told you I can't do it. I can't. But now that I'm actually doing it, I realize I can do it. I am doing it every day, and it doesn't, matter what comes over me. But I think that's what it's about, is not trying to figure it out in the moment, because whatever happens in the moment, it's gonna happen. It's fine. But in the middle of the night, it doesn't always feel fine. We're so vulnerable, and here I am trying to sort of like give advice where I still struggle for sure, but I do think that that's sort of the best wisdom, is just be in the moment. You're not gonna figure it out at 3 a.m. And my other true confession that I would tell our viewers and listeners, I stay up way too late at night. I'm trying to get a little bit better and I'm trying to put myself to bed by 11:30 or 12, but for me that's earlier than usual. I sleep, I try to put like an alarm on for 8.5 hours. So I don't get up early. But there's almost seems to be shame involved with that. My brother, I found out very recently, does the same thing where he'll stay up really late, like he stays up till 2 or 2:30. And I have read about something they call the after hours gene, where people are actually like genetically, programmed is probably the wrong word, but predisposed to staying up late. But do you think that is actually kind of bad to stay up late? What are your thoughts about that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it has to do with your circadian rhythm. And there are, there's a reason why you've got the people called the night owls and you've got the morning larks.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem often is that if you're a night owl and you still have to get up early, then you're just not sleeping.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
But if you can make your schedule work,
yeah,
and get those 8 hours, then that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
not everyone has to go to bed at 10 or 11
Right.
p.m. to feel perfectly rested.
Right.
A lot of people do, and a lot of people kind of have to, just because of the way our businesses run, and way, because of school and business hours. I mean, I'm like you. I would much rather go to bed around midnight or even past midnight and sleep till 8:30. But I have to get up at 6.
Right.
And so often I do still stay up because I don't feel tired until I have to get up in the morning, and then I feel destroyed because I haven't had enough sleep. So it's hard to change your rhythms too, to fit whatever the world has decided your rhythm is supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, as a doctor of Chinese medicine, most practitioners would tell you that you should go to bed by 11 because, the different organs have their different times. So with the circadian clock, but Chinese medicine also does teach that we are all individual, and it does look at individual patterns. I mean, that's a big premise of how you want to treat any condition, is treating the person, not the condition. So I think there's something to be said, but I think a lot of doctors of Chinese medicine would probably shame me for staying up till 1 and 2 when I can. But we're all a work in progress, I think, when it comes to health and finding health. And tell me about your progress now with your insomnia journey. Like, how do you feel now about your relationship with sleep in current day?
Well, I have a much better relationship with sleep. It's
Yeah.
not perfect by any
Yeah.
stretch, but I react to it differently. I
Mm-hmm.
still wake up most nights and have that 3:30, 4 a.m. moment of just not despair, but that sort
Yeah.
of anxiety. And then I just remind myself that, okay, I feel like this because it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and it's dark, but I'm very aware of the fact that I have to get up in a couple of hours
Mm-hmm.
and everything seems really grim at 4
Mm-hmm.
a.m. And so just reminding myself that that's my mind playing tricks on me
Yeah.
and that that's not the state of affairs, and that I just need to, if I absolutely have to, write it down or do whatever it is I need to do to make sure that I won't forget.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just try to listen. Generally, I'll listen to a sleep meditation
Mm-hmm.
or a book that I've already listened to before. So,
Oh,
like
so you
you,
don't
I like,
mind if you miss.
well, and I like because I know what's going to happen. So it's
Yeah.
comforting. Like you said,
Yeah.
when you listen to the same sleep meditation, you
Right.
know what's
Where it's going.
coming.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if you like the narrator's voice,
Yeah.
so there's something very comforting about that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that and try to lull myself back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to add, you were talking about meditation.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought, oh my God, I can't stop my mind from spinning. There's no way.
Right.
But the great thing about meditating is, unlike what many people, or what I thought, is that it's not about, I mean, ideally, yes, you stay in the moment and you try to empty your mind of all thoughts, but that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And you just don't beat yourself up when your mind
Mm-hmm.
wanders. And in
Right.
fact, you kind of,
Right.
now what I do is I go, okay, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my mind wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Duly noted. Now I'm coming back to the breath.
Right.
And so just noticing and
Mm-hmm.
accepting, rather than getting stressed out or thinking, okay, I can't do this.
Right.
This is impossible. I can't,
Right. That's it. It's just not resisting. Whatever it is that comes in, allow it in and allow it out.
Yeah.
And it sounds so simple, but because human minds and the psyche is so complex, we could spend hours talking about the process of meditation. And yeah, it's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I love it, but yeah, there are challenges.
Absolutely.
There are challenges,
But it's worth trying.
Yes.
And it gets easier.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it and letting go gets easier too.
Yeah.
You're not going to become this sort of super zen, incredible master of meditation in a few weeks, but you will feel better.
Right.
Even within a week,
Yeah.
and you will continue to feel better,
Mm-hmm.
and just
Mm-hmm.
even just more at peace with everything that's happening. And so rather than resisting, I find that once you sort of start accepting what's happening, it's easier to find solutions and to find, whether it's a workaround or a solution, or be inspired to do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting. And, I think that ultimately, this podcast is really about a journey and finding health, but it's not about having arrived anywhere. And I think this discussion really reflects a lot of that. Like we're all on a journey to do better, find more serenity with sleep, with life, with, calming the nerves and anxiety. And I really appreciate you sharing all your own story and your expertise.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I loved talking about this with you.
Great.
Thanks.
Well, all right.
All right. Until next time.
Until next time.